Hey everyone, and welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name is Giusi, and I'm an intuitive healer. I talk about various topics that have to do with healing and our subconscious programming, um, and also my journey with autism. A lot of the content has to do with that because I find that it's something that I've been obviously exploring a lot in the last year since finding out that I am autistic. So I like to share my personal experiences on here, which are a lot of the videos are about. So thank you for being here. And if you're new, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that so much. So welcome to my channel. All right, let's begin. So today's video is about how, you know, oftentimes this is something that I didn't know was a thing, but in my own experience, it has been a thing. And speaking to a lot of people in like the autism support group I'm in, I see this is the thing with a lot of people, and it is the not being liked by the mean girls or the mean people. Autistic people not being liked by the mean girls. Hands up if you relate to this. Okay, so let's begin. So, growing up, um, there's one thing that was very, very like evident with me as I was growing up, and it was that I never tried to fit in. And not in the sense of like where you think how people tried to fit in. Like I didn't care to be popular when I saw like the popular girls, the mean girls and stuff. And my cat's gonna go to the bathroom now behind me, of course, because I started recording. So I apologize in advance. Um, but the girls who were like the popular girls who would just like kind of just be like snarky about everyone and talk bad about people and stuff like that. I never wanted to hang out with them. I didn't want to be them. I didn't want to be their friend. I didn't want to hang out with them. It's not that I was like rude and stuff like that, but I just wasn't concerned about like being popular. I did not care about that kind of stuff. I remember when I was in grade 7 or 8, I can't remember, and I had a school. I don't know where you're from, but where we are from, we had portables. If you don't know what that is, they're like schools outside of the building, but they look like little cottages and little school structures outside. So if you've never been in a portable, a school portable, it's just a standalone classroom in like this little cottage looking thing, and it just has like a door with little stairs that go up to the door, and it's only like one classroom in there. So when I went to elementary school, it was I went to Catholic school, and I had a little small school that only went up to grade 6. Normal schools here go up to from JK to grade 8, and then you have high school. But like the Catholic schools, I'm not sure if the public schools how they work, but the Catholic schools, we up to go up to grade 8. But my school was a small school, so it only went up to grade 6, and I had to go to the other school for grade 7 and 8. But that school was like a regular school that went from JK to um, grade 8. The reason I'm telling you all this is because it was such a small school, and I went to school with all the same people from JK to grade 6. So I didn't really have bullies like growing up when I was younger, and I didn't really experience bullies until I went to this new school for grade 7 and 8, at least in the sense of like, no, honestly, like I didn't experience bullies until I went to this school. And I didn't really realize they were bullies until like now as an adult. When I look back, I'm like, oh, those people were bullies. Um, and so one of the things that happened was that I had a best friend. She was my friend in the other school as well. And we became like friends and hung out all the time, and we would do like go tobogganing and do various things together. And then I remember one time in grade 7 or 8, because I used to play because I'm a kid, like 13 years old or 12 or however old we are. And so I would play. And the cool girls wouldn't do that. They would sit on the portable and talk about lipstick and boys and bras and things, and I just was not interested in doing that. So I remember my best friend saying to me at one point that the girls said to her that you could be popular too if you just didn't hang out with her. Me. Talking about me. And I was like, okay. And in my head, I was just like, and it's interesting because I understood this at a young age. In my head, I wasn't like worried that like I was perceived as not being popular because I wasn't trying to be popular because I thought the popular people were so boring and like so lame and I didn't want to be like those people. But I was more concerned about the fact that she wanted to be like those people and that she felt comfortable telling me like that these people were saying this about me. And at a young age I understood that, and if it made me feel like maybe not like as well as like I understand it as an adult, but I definitely understood that and I felt it that there was like something wrong with her telling me this, because I was like I felt uncomfortable with her, not that these girls said something about me. And so once we went to high school, sure enough, she parted ways with me and became friends with other people. And I'm not to try to like shame like people who do things with their own body and stuff like that, but it's very evident that she had a different life that she chose after me, like when you look at like her path and stuff, and the way she went, the route she went with her life, and she wanted to be a certain way, and that's fine. That's for her. We obviously were not vibing, and I don't know why I feel like that's the looks were shittier on her because I'm just like I'm not hanging out with them because like they're making it seem like it's because they don't want me, but I don't want to hang out with them. I've never tried to hang out with them. I've never wanted to. I'm off doing my own thing in my own world and having the time of my life. I go, I'm like in my head, I'm thinking like it's probably shittier for you because you want to hang out with those girls and they're not letting you. And so, anyway, so my whole thing starts with this. So at that time, girls like that who would start to be mean to me, and this is something that I would start to notice a pattern like as I get older that it would happen. Like snarky, stuck up, like meanish girls, the ones who tended to be like more aggressive or more dominant or whatever you want to call it, the ones who would be like the leader of the clique and things like that. Every time I encountered people like that throughout my entire life, those people would always have it out for me. They would be mean to me and all of that stuff. And I realized that as I got older, and this is, and I think this is a very big thing with like autistic people, we don't they didn't like me because I was not concerned about them, and their behavior did not scare me into being one of their little goons and trying to like make them like me or choose me or pick me and things like that. Like I steered clear of them because I didn't like their energy, and then I didn't want to be around people who were just like mean spirited and that just weren't nice and things like that, and it just wasn't my vibe. And this was like at work, it was always like this. Especially I'm going to use work as an example because I worked in the same place for almost 29 years, and so the first location of that work I worked there for 14 years, and then even when I went on to the other locations there was always this culture of like the different dynamics and these mean girls and stuff like that that would stick together. And I was always like their target because of who I was. I was well liked, not because I had to manipulate other people, not because I had to bully people to be that way, not for any other reason than because I was myself and I was genuinely kind. And I don't know why the color is changing on my thing. But because I was genuinely kind and nice to people, and I just was myself. I was authentic, and people saw that about me, and so people liked me because I was this person who I showed was who I was, and I never tried to take advantage of people. I never tried to. I've never like I wasn't mean to people. I was so helpful and kind and supportive and positive, and would lift people up and kind of like champion them and things like that. That's just who I was, and had no interest in listening to other people tell me like what to do. I barely listen to the bosses. So it's like having like some mean girl like try to like smooth talk me her way over me and try to like make snide remarks at me. It wasn't gonna make me like all of a sudden bow to them or something. I was like I could care less. And so they never liked that I was that kind of person that could be manipulated and controlled in that way. And so it's interesting that I was able to see that in those situations really easily, but not necessarily in my romantic relationships. A very different story. So we'll talk about that another time. But for all those other things, it was a little easier for me to see that in the workplaces, and because I didn't like um, people like that, and I stayed away from them. And so I always find that I was often targeted, especially at work, by people like this. And this seems to be a very common thing with autistic people. And I want to say it's just females, but speaking to my partner about it, he said that he experienced the same thing in his life as well. So this is something that is not just a thing for autistic girls, but it's also a thing for autistic boys as well. So I think that it's interesting to think about. I mean, maybe it's not just for autistic people, but I think that autistic people can be more prone to these situations. And if you look at the statistics, it shows that we tend to be bullied more, and for a variety of reasons, because we're quirky and weird and different and all these different things, and we don't care to adhere to other people's way of being. Like, and our masking, even when we're masking, our masking isn't necessarily because we want to adhere to, like, you know, the popular group and all those things. And maybe in some cases it is for some people, but most of the times our masking is literally just to survive and to appear that we're normal and like that we can be accepted in cultural things and not stand out and stuff like that. It's not because we want to be part of some popular clique and stuff, and we never do something like that is, that we don't want to, like, even when during my masking, like fashion for instance was one of my special interests and stuff. So I could be really really like fashionable and funky, and I can change my look like a chameleon and do all these things, and I was just something that was really good. And because of that, like, a lot of people really like my style, or I would have like those mean girl people would actually, like, I would have some of them become the ones who did become my friends. They would like try to like rip off my style and start copying me and act like they're the ones who that was their style and stuff like that. And I have no problem with someone being like, oh, that looks so cool, like, do you mind if I like whatever? But it was never like that. It was just like they would start like dressing like me and stuff like that. Anyways, the whole point of this video is that the mean girls or the mean people, I think it's a very common thing for them to target autistic people because of our ability to not fall for the rhetoric that, oh, she's mean and she's a bully, and I have to, if I don't like appease her, then she's not gonna like make me hang out with them. And we're probably like, great, because I don't want to effing hang out with her anyway. I like being by myself and eating my lunch by myself, and nobody please talk to me. So because of that, we never cared about things like that. In fact, we welcomed it. I did, and I think it's true for a lot of people. And so they didn't like that. So to recap, they didn't like that we weren't trying to hang out with them and be like their friends, and that we weren't just like interested in wanting to be popular or cool. They didn't like, number two, they didn't like that we weren't as easily like manipulated or conned or into trying to, be a certain way and to participate or whatever. And the third one, which is the biggest one, is they didn't like that we can show up authentically and be ourselves. And in that authentic self version of ourselves, we were genuinely, our kindness was genuine in our niceness, because those people, even when they would be nice to other people, you knew it wasn't genuine. They were just being manipulative, like in a really bad way. And I don't mean in like, because, anyways, it's another conversation. I was going to talk about people pleasing, but that those people, when they're like being all like nice to someone, is because like they're trying to get like information, like, oh hey Sue, I heard that like so and so, like, and they're just trying to like infiltrate like the group and get some information. So yeah, they don't like that, and people like that are not being themselves. That mask of who they are, of this villainous be like, um, mean girl type, or even mean boy type, or mean person type, that's like their own mask too, because that's a protective like barrier for them, because at some point they probably have pain and wounding underneath them, and so they cannot be vulnerable, and so have to um they need to be the one who's in control and in charge, and manipulating and bullying people to take control and to be the one on top so that nobody hurts them. But those people are, we already know, like they're usually the ones hurting the most, like underneath. So I get it. My ex is one of those people, and that is very much true in their case, 100%. Those people usually like loathe themselves the most, and they just like appear to be all these certain ways, which is like a farce, like a total and complete farce. So yes, I'm just curious if you've ever had this experience with yourself, if you are someone who has been in this situation and you have found that other people also, you've always been the target for the mean girls in your life. And um, I don't know, it's just like an interesting phenomenon. And it doesn't really bother me now. I couldn't, like, now it just doesn't faze me. And I know right away now, like as an adult, I know right away that when someone doesn't like me, I know why. It really tells on them like a lot. So, because I've never had someone not, like, people who are not like mean or malicious or whatever. None of those people have not liked me. People generally like me because I'm a pretty likable person. Like I'm very like I'm nice, and I don't like that word nice, but I'm kind. I'm very kind, and I'm very compassionate, and I'm very I'm very gentle and warm in my personality and things like that. And because of that, people feel really safe in my energy. I exude this energy of safety, support, and types of things. This is why, like, I do what I do, and I'm good at doing what I do as a healer and a spiritual counselor and all that stuff. It's because of that energy that I have, and it's good. I'm so happy that people feel so safe in my energy, and that they can feel they have the ability to really be vulnerable and to do lots of deep healing work because of that. And I feel like that's such a beautiful thing. And so right away, when people don't like me right off the bat, then it's really just telling on them and the kind of person they are. And oftentimes, like, not to get like metaphysical on you, but like oftentimes dark people with dark energy. And I don't know, it's not that I want to call them dark energy, but just to give you like an example, dark energy will often be repelled by the light energy kind of thing. And in some cases, like romantic relationships, they might be drawn to each other, especially if the person who's like the empath or the sensitive is not healed or knows no better. So, anyways, so share your experience with this if you also did this. I want to apologize for the sound, and I know it's not that good. I just haven't found. I'm working on a way to get. I just don't have the funds to purchase a new phone, and my phone is like really messed up right now, and I had a memory card on it, and it messed up, and so I need to get a new memory card, and I can't do videos on there right now, and I just can't purchase a camera, unfortunately. So there's a lot of things going on right now in my life, and having to find like a new apartment and a new job is overwhelming for me right now. So I would appreciate it then if you could also like just really show your support by subscribing to my channel and liking this video so much. I would appreciate that very much so. So if you are someone who has experienced these things and you have, you've always been the target by these mean girls, know that it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them, and that they just can't handle you and your authenticity and the good things about you, and just keep being who you are, because you'll always attract the people who are for you and who are also like vibrating at that same energy as you. And you know, sometimes it makes it hard for us. Like I know now because I have, I've learned discernment and things over time, but I didn't always have that type of discernment when I was younger. I didn't understand why people were like that to me and why they were so catty and nasty to me and stuff like that. We're not good at understanding these things. I think the most, like, everyone might find it difficult, but autistic people find it more difficult to understand people, there's behaviors and social cues and things like that. And so it's something that I definitely struggled with growing up, and I didn't understand why these people were like such bees to me and why I was always the target, and I just wanted to be left alone, kind of thing. So if you went through this, I empathize with you and I'm sorry, but you don't have to put up with that anymore. You don't have to. You just let them. It's like in Labyrinth when she's like, "You have no power over me." That's you. They have no power over you, like none whatsoever. Remember that always, okay? So, anyways, thanks for being here and take care of yourselves. Please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything you do want me to talk about, any topics and things like that, and I shall put them on my list of topics to talk about. Anyways, have a beautiful day. Take care. Oh, before I finish, it's Halloween next week, and Halloween is one of my special interests. Obviously, I love Halloween. I love everything about Halloween, and I just went and bought some stuff for my costume, and I do makeup and things like that. So I always like center it around like really, really like cool makeup and stuff. And so I'm not telling you what my costume's gonna be, but I'm sure I will post some, hopefully some pictures or do like a little video or a short to show you like the costume. Okay. I don't edit my videos here because I just don't have the energy. Like as I'm in burnout and I barely have energy to function on my day to day. So it's so severe sometimes. And so I just don't have the patience or energy to edit my videos and like cut them and things like that. And maybe one day someone do it for me. But right now that is not happening. So you're getting these types of videos. So far, everyone seems to appreciate it. So take care. I appreciate all of you so much. If you're dressing up for Halloween, let me know in the comments what you're going to be dressing up as, and maybe I'll make a Halloween video next week. We'll see. I'm going this weekend up north to hang out with my nephew and do like stuff with him, and then to like this party thingy with where there's gonna be karaoke and everything. I'm also a karaoke person, so a lot of things. Maybe I'll do a video about my special interests, all the things that I like. We'll see. Okay, so that's all. I'm done. Take care, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.